What's up guys, howeyy here, and today I wanted to jump in with something a little bit different. At least it's a little bit different right here on this channel, but we're going to jump in and take a look at the Whisper of the Worm versus all of the raid bosses currently available in Destiny 2. So we're going to talk about the weapon, talk about some of the bosses and how this weapon actually handles against them, and I'm going to show you some raw gameplay of my team taking some of these bosses down as well. Gotta say a big thanks to my clanmates who jumped in and helped us get these clears. Whisper of the Worm is obviously a super powerful weapon. It hasn't even reached its full potential just yet. So we're going to talk about all of this stuff in this video, guys. If you do enjoy it, a rating below is very much appreciated. But for now, let's jump straight into it. So let's start out by talking about the weapon itself. So here it is, the Whisper of the Worm. Of course, this weapon is based on the Black Spindle and the Black Hammer from Destiny 1. If you guys are wondering how to get this weapon, I do have a video breaking it down. It is a time-gated mission, so it comes back up and then disappears again. It looks like it's going to rotate over every weekend. But of course, the all-important perk for the Whisper of the Worm is White Nail. This is the bonus that was on the original Black Hammer in Destiny 1. It gives the weapon higher base precision damage, and rapidly landing 3 precision hits will refill the magazine. The important thing about White Nail, of course, is that it doesn't draw from your reserves, so essentially you can just continuously put out rounds, assuming you always get that crit. Whisper also has polygonal rifling, which increases the stability. It's got armor-piercing rounds, which slightly increases the range, and allows the rounds to do extra damage to combatant shields. We've got Mulligan, also a pretty important bonus. Missing a shot has the chance to return ammo directly to the magazine, so if you don't hit anything with the shot, you have the chance to get it back, which essentially means it won't disrupt your continuous firing pattern. But Whisper also has a fitted stock. So how does it do inside of the raids? Well, of course, most of the raids right now only have one final boss and have encounters with a bunch of adds or mechanics otherwise. So while you can use this weapon in other situations, it definitely is a boss DPS weapon. The first boss we're going to take a look at is Valkyr from the Spire of Stars. Now this guy's an interesting one. He's somewhat difficult to crit. Unless you're shooting from behind him, you have to kind of shoot over his head and over his shoulders to hit the tank on his back. So that is one of the downsides, but the upside is that this guy does have one of the lower health pools for a raid boss, so he's relatively easy to take out in one phase.
Firebolt.
I don't find them to me. Me.
Good job. You good, man? Man, that fire.
Oh my god.
Alright.
You going?
Keep going.
Yeah, we got him.
Okay, go for your orbs. Go for your orbs. Just get to your sides. Ad's in the way. Dude!
I got it.
Wow. That was so annoying. Every step of the way I just got booped. There's another orb back on the ceiling. So as you can see, we managed to take him down relatively easy right there. We actually opted to do something pretty unusual though. So Lunafaction Boots actually kind of removes the effect of the White Nail perk and causes the weapon to draw ammo from reserves. However, we decided to actually go with the Lunafaction Boots because the boss is so relatively easy to take down in terms of damage, as in he doesn't require the most amount of damage. And because especially on console, we were having instances where we'd actually have to reload quite a bit, you'd miss a shot. So for this guy, we simply threw the Lunafaction Boots on so that we could continuously fire even if we missed a shot, and it actually turned out to be a very easy way to one-phase him from the back of the room right here. So kind of an unusual strategy to actually break the White Nail perk in order to do this, but we just found it considerably easier right here on console. Of course, if you're on PC or you have absolutely fantastic aim, then this really isn't going to be necessary, but it's something to bear in mind if you ever wanted to try this. Next though, we have Eater of Worlds. Now this is a really interesting one because Argos is incredibly easy to crit. He's got that massive red nose, and you can just land those shots over and over again pretty easily. The one thing that's more likely to hold you back with Argos is going to be the adds and the various projectiles that he actually fires at you. Now, people have managed to one-phase Argos with the Whisper of the Worm. That is incredibly difficult to do. You have to land every single shot. You need to get melee damage buff with the raid gauntlets, have empowering rifts up for pretty much the entirety of a damage phase. That is pretty difficult to do, but taking the time to manage adds a little bit, you can pretty easily two-phase Argos right now. Let's go, some good damage.
Run out of ammo.
do that.
I had no heavy there.
Good going, boys. I somehow missed the shot. And I'm detained from under the thing. That's super not
Yep,
cool.
same. I'm floating.
Watch the harpies. Like half damage.
I had like no bullets.
Shoot.
We should have sent the far out of them DPS and we could have done ads because I've got 6 buckets.
Okay. I could not see his head for like an entire year then, I swear. Keep going.
Everything's coming over.
Oh, we got him. Sweet. Nice. I wondered if we'd get it then. It's the solar plate is like the best spot.
Solar plate, yeah.
Yeah,
It's that
it is,
rock.
yeah.
It's a legitimate
It's that rock
rock.
there behind the left.
So as you can see, the Argos encounter was a bunch of fun right there. Pretty easy to hit the guy and put out a fair amount of damage. Very difficult to one-phase in my opinion. As I mentioned, people had previously done it. But for non-prestige runs in particular, this looks like it's going to be a pretty consistent 2-phase for most teams, which you definitely can't complain about. The final boss we took on would be Callus right here. Kind of like Valkor, Callus is a little bit tricky to crit, especially on console, especially on the front plates as well, because you're very close to him, so the recoil that you get with the sniper is much more noticeable. However, with that lower health pool, assuming you land a reasonable amount of shots, he's pretty easy to take down in just one phase. We did it with 82 stacks right here, so it isn't super high, it's decent. I actually miss a ton of shots in this run, so this one kind of is just a testament to how strong the weapon actually is. Also, Callus stood up and kind of glitched out at the end, which is kind of amusing as well. Jump up.
106k I'm hitting here. And then 88 without striking hand.
Keep missing. Oh, wow. Okay, he's immune.
I'm immune.
Alright, let's go for that crispy 1-phase, boys. I'm gonna try and put a rally on this one. Alright, jump up.
Can someone get him?
Get him off the damage
Just do
phase.
DPS a minute. Yeah.
Oh no, I wasted my thing. I got him.
Okay, awesome.
Dude.
Jump on the plate.
Ah. Let's go, dudes.
Get on.
Good jump off. We need the last one. Dude. Dude, what is he doing?
What? What? Did you see that? He was in his final stance and tried to shoot us.
Yeah, dude, he was doing his animation. What?
Yeah, he's down. Yeah.
Black Spindle, like, broke him, dude.
You're gonna die, fella?
So there we go, guys. That was the Callus run that we managed to get. Obviously, the weapon is very, very strong. The D1 versus D2 versions, for me personally, I can definitely notice the difference in the scope. The recoil seems to be a bit more severe. Not by an absolutely massive amount, but versus other heavy DPS weapons in particular, Black Spindle is certainly very, very strong in D2. I called it Black Spindle again, of course, it is the Whisper of the Worm. But we have yet to get the Masterwork, which will grant the weapon box breathing. I think it's going to take a couple more weeks inside of the heroic versions as they come up week over week. But once we can get that Masterwork upgraded, this thing is going to become positively ridiculous. Another thing to remember with this weapon is that we are going to see weapon slot changes. A lot of people have asked if we know about whether the Whisper of the Worm will actually be reslotted. I don't believe it will. I imagine it would probably stay in the heavy slot, especially if it's going to do anywhere near this kind of damage, unless of course they are going to do major kind of overhauls and reworks of the damage across different archetypes. But imagine even having this in your heavy heavy slot, you could be rocking, you know, your primary hand cannon, a shotgun or a fusion, whichever other kind of special weapon you really like. And inside of these raids, inside of new high level content, it's going to be absolutely fantastic to go back to that kind of super high power 3-weapon system. And Whisper of the Worm could absolutely stay in the heavy slot, but you could have a shotgun and a scout or something like that, and it would be a very solid loadout. But Whisper of the Worm is really good right now. It's going to get even better with the catalyst, and then when we have all of these different slot options, man, we're going to feel like gods. So anyway, let me know your thoughts down below. Just thought we'd take a quick casual run through all of the raid bosses. I know plenty of people have one-faced these guys with the Whisper and done all kinds of crazy stuff. I thought it would be fun to jump in and do some stuff of our own. So let us know down below if you've picked the weapon up or how you've been using it inside of raids, any awesome clears that you've got with the weapon. Good luck to everyone who's going to be jumping back in and attempting to get the weapon when the mission comes back up. If you have enjoyed this video though, guys, a like below is very much appreciated. If you're new to the channel and you want to see a lot more Destiny 2 content, news, guides, and all that good stuff, then be sure to hit subscribe and turn on those notifications to see a lot more D2 content. For now though, I appreciate you watching as always, guys, and I will catch you very soon.